Well, I also wanted to ask you, Sana, if it's okay, about the sugar industry, because you're also part of the sugar industry, and that's one of the big things in the last few weeks, more than a month. In 2020, in an interview, you said that the sugar industry in the Philippines has been facing challenges from, number one, cheap imports, and number two, diminished productivity. From 2.6 million, I think, metric tons, we're now producing 2 million metric tons per year. Thereabouts. This was in 2020, November, December. It's 2023 already, 2022, going to 2023, and we still have the same problem. Are we still looking at the same issues? Are we still looking at the same unresolved concerns?
Well, okay. The situation was exacerbated by the Typhoon Odette, which damaged the sugar crop. So from last year's production of 2 million tons, it is now down to only 1.8 million tons. And since we consume about 2.3 million tons nationwide, we consume about 2.3 million tons, we really need to import 300, 400,000 tons in order to fulfill the domestic needs.
But what about
So
what
in short,
sugar
talaga, in
planters are
short.
saying?
I'm sorry. Yeah, you were saying, Ami?
Yeah, the sugarcane planters are saying may problema din daw sa sugar recovery sa milling. Dahil daw yung milling, almost all the mills of the Philippines are antiquated, at least mga 100 years old na. Is that also valid? Saka, mariremedyohan ba yun ng mabilis?
No. Who said that? If you could give me his names, and I will call him
Mr.
to refute
Lamata.
that. Because
Mr. Lamata.
Mr. Lamata of the planters.
No. Lamata, in fact, is one of my sugar planters in Binalbagan. And I'm willing to face him, on television. He knows that every year BISCOM spends millions and millions to upgrade our facilities. So that is not true.
Pero sinasabi nila, sa Luzon, Mr. Rosendo also said, sa medyo Visayas and Mindanao naman yata nga, medyo maayos. But yung sa Central Luzon, Millers, is that also?
Well, as far as I know, in Central Luzon, the cane supply has dwindled already a lot. So, in fact, some of the mills are no longer in operation because there's not enough cane to sustain the business. So, if he's talking about Luzon, that's an entirely different matter. But in Negros, it is still essentially sugar land, and although the thing about the big hacienderos, the big sugar estates, to be honest with you, those are things of the past. With the carp, with the land farm. Sorry?
It's not the sakada ascendero system anymore, where the sakadas are really just left to do the planting and do the heavy lifting and.
No. What I'm talking about is the ownership of land, of the sugar lands, because let's say 40, 50 years ago, you have the big sugar estates, owning 500 hectares, 1,000 hectares.
No,
that's a thing of the past. The CARP, or the Land Reform Program, has put an end to that. The Land Reform Program has resulted in small farmers owning only 5 hectares. The beneficiaries of the land reform, they only own 5 hectares. Therefore, many of these poor farmers who receive the 5 hectares have no access to financing, and they have very limited knowledge in cane growing. So it takes time for them to be educated. You're talking about sakadas, Luchi. That's a different matter. Sakadas are laborers that used to come from Antique to bring them to Negros to cut the canes. But
Okay.
nowadays the planters have difficulty getting hold of sakadas. Number one, they cannot pay the rates that the sakadas are charging, because as I said, the beneficiaries of the land reform are poor, small farmers,
Themselves, yes.
no access to financing. If they go to a bank, the bank will not even entertain them, you know. So, and with the fertilizer prices going up, definitely they cannot afford. So the quality of cane that they're producing is not as good as in 40 years ago,
Yeah.
when the big sugar estates were running the farms.
And that's what some quarters are saying, no, na land reform actually brought down sugar production because nga of economies of scale, naging inefficient yung small farms.
Yes.
Is that also a valid observation?
Yeah, it is. So, but what we're encouraging now is having co-ops formed, cooperatives, so that together, if you put, let's say, 50 hectares to 5 hectares,
Yeah.
10 hectares, and put them together into a cooperative, then they can help one another. And
But
we
the
ourselves-
other thing that, oh yeah, sorry.
we ourselves in my sugar mill, we finance, we help, we assist certain planters by encouraging them to lease these small farms, put maybe 20, 30 hectares together so that they can be run efficiently.
Yeah, it's economies
And
of scale.
Odette
But
Lamata,
the other
it's
thing
one
that
of-
Mr. Lamata said, sir, was that there really is no shortage. There's none. And the reason for the high price is really just because of hoarders and profiteers.
No. The figures will not lie. As I said to Ed earlier, last year we produced 2 million tons. This past year, we only produced 1.8. So if the country needs 2.3 million tons, you combine the industrial users and the local consumers, the statistics will show that we really need 2.3 million tons to sustain the country. And if we only produce 1.8 million, so we really need to bring in 500,000 tons. The question is how to bring them in such a way that it will not hurt the planters, it will not bring down the prices abruptly.
Oh. Ed, nakahanda ka ng kumanta.
Okay.
Okay, let's sing already. Let's sing Merry Christmas and Happy New Year already.
Grabe naman kayo sa Megway. hindi suwabing segue.
Maniniwala na mga tao, no shortage because it's Jose Marican talking.
I didn't say that there's no shortage.
No, I mean maniniwala na may shortage.
No, there is a shortage. It's just that
We need to import.
we need to import,
Yeah.
but probably not 500,000 tons at
Okay,
one time.
okay.
Because it's going to bring down the price. But just especially because already the new milling season has begun. The new milling season. So now in Negros, as far as I know, Victorias, La Carlota, Sonedco, and of course Biscom have already started milling. So this is the new milling season, and we're slowly building up again our stocks.
So 150,000 tons import is reasonable.
Yes, I think it's okay, just so that to pacify the public and the industrial users, because some of the industrial users were threatening to close down their plants because they have no sugar to use. That is, I think, also exaggerating.